Housing Development Program and the globe. Number one, Housing Development Program.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Housing Development, your trusted weekly update on Nigeria's housing and construction industry. As always, I am your housing diva, and today I'll bring you the biggest headlines, the voices of everyday Nigerians, expert insights, and a special community future. This week we'll focus on trending news in the sector. Nigerians react to the rise in real estate and rental scams. Expert view with Umar Shuaib. Countdown to Africa Housing Awards 2025. Let's begin with the trending stories.
Indigenous residents in the Federal Capital Territory have called on Minister Nyesom Wike to intervene after the recent demolition of homes in Kuchibena Cafe district. The groups say the exercise was carried out without proper notice or compensation, leaving hundreds homeless. At a press briefing in Abuja, Elder Danjuma Tanko Dara of FCT Senior Citizens Forum condemned the demolition as indiscriminate and said FCT indigents continue to face marginalization despite their ancestral ties to the area. He also urged the government to compensate the residents of Gishiri and Dagbalo affected by earlier demolitions. The groups warned that repeated demolitions without consultation erode indigenous rights and cultural heritage. They called on the FCT administration to ensure development projects protect both urban growth and the welfare of native communities. Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, has been named the Africa Housing Finance Minister of the Year 2025 by the Africa Housing Awards, an annual recognition of outstanding contributors to the continent's housing and built environment sector. In a statement on Monday, Executive Director of the Housing Development Advocacy Network, Festus Adebayo, said Edun earned the honor for his pivotal role in establishing the Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund, MRIF. Edun was credited with providing strategic direction, driving policy formulation, mobilizing private sector support, and championing the fund's approval, financing, and eventual listing on the Nigerian exchange. The organizer said his leadership has boosted investor confidence, strengthened Nigeria's housing finance framework, and supported the Renewed Hope Housing Program nationwide. The 2025 Africa Housing Awards will take place on December 12th at Fesa Suites, Abuja, bringing together industry stakeholders from across the continent to celebrate excellence and review sectoral progress. To read the full details of the news, visit www.africahousingnews.com.
These and more news stories continue to redefine Nigerians' housing landscape. Now let's move to a topic affecting almost every household: real estate and rental scams. Across Nigeria, many people have lost money to fake agents, double allocation, and a deceptive property advert. We went to the street to hear directly from Nigerians. Here's what they had to say.
Personally, I've not been scammed, but I've been, with people that have been scammed, and I know how the situation is out there. It's very brutal. Understand? People are, I think it all has to come down to people are just only after the money. They're not actually after satisfying the people.
I've not been scammed before, but I do know that it's actually very hard to get houses these days. And I think also one of the reasons why people get scammed is because the agents that actually help them get houses, I don't know if they have an association or anything. I mean, anybody can just come up and say, I'm an agent.
Personally, have not experienced it myself, but I do have clienteles. I do have clients who I'm handling their matters, who have had such experience, regarding these scam issues, because it's really unfortunate that someone would invest huge amounts of money and then at the end of the day he doesn't get return or satisfaction for his money spent.
My in-law has been scammed. He bought lands in Abuja here, I think in Napo, and then after sometimes they seize the land from them and then they say they wanted to compensate them. I think for more than 10 years now, the whole thing has gone.
I have somebody who is close to me presently now. He's going through such an issue. He paid half the money of an apartment, hoping that maybe when the month comes to an end, he will pay the final balance of it. And before he could know, they have given the house to somebody. The money he has paid before for a deposit has not been refunded to him, and the house has not been given to him in another way. What I think the government should do is they should try and build housing that low-income earners could be able to afford and access it. Because if you look at the rate of housing built today, the low-income earner could not go close to those houses. Because of, if you hear their prices, they are something skyrocketed that you cannot go close for.
We need the government to come in and actually, how am I going to put it? Actually try to make things easier for we the common man, because real estate currently, housing development programs, they are not really working for the common man. They are only serving the elite.
If the government can, try and help and maybe the agents can have an association where they are recognized, and before you go about engaging someone as an agent, it should be from someone that you can trust, maybe with certification and all. I think that will help in reducing the level of scamming in the whole country and all.
The government is supposed to have like a kind of office, whether from the Federal Capital Development Authority or the Federal Housing Authority, FHA. They should have a department where complaints of this can be lodged and where investigations regarding these matters can also be carried out.
Government should come into this situation. People are being scammed in this town. In Abuja city here, they lost a lot of money. You see somebody selling land to 2 or 3 people, collecting money and all of those things. So this issue is critical, and I don't think it's good. So I think government should step into the issue and then help a lot of people in this situation.
Those are real stories from real Nigerians. Clearly, the challenge is widespread, but what can be done? After the short break, we'll speak with an expert who will help us understand how to tackle real estate fraud and sharp practices in Nigeria. Stay with Housing Development.
This kind of recognition should feel very, very proud of himself and his efforts. By this award, I think I've done well.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Housing Development. Up next, Umar Shuaib, former coordinator of the Abuja Metropolitan Management Council, a professional with deep experience in urban regulation, planning enforcement, and property administration, will enlighten us on tackling real estate fraud and sharp practices in Nigeria.
in this country today, there are two cities, Abuja and Lagos, where houses are very expensive. Property development is very expensive, and you make a lot of money in these places. Abuja being the national capital, it attracts so many investors far and wide. So people come with ideas from all nook and corners of Nigeria. You have people that come. In fact, we have even people that come from the international community. One of the commonest practice is getting a land that doesn't belong to a developer. And how does he get it? All titles in Abuja, you cannot get a title unless you apply. When you apply, they approve your application, they allocate land to you. They first give you right of occupancy before they issue the certificate of occupancy. But because people are desperate, with that right of occupancy, if you have settled all the bill for the certificate of occupancy, the development control will require the proof of the settlement of these ones even before you get the COFO. If actually the land belongs to yours, they go and request for the authentication of that title in the land registry. And if the land registry confirms, then they can give you building plan approval. But the problem is not there. The problem is that people will go and clone a document that is not theirs. Some of them got the information from the system in the land registry. Some of them get the information outside because so many people that want to dispose of their lands will make the document to fly in the property market. When a fraudster see a very choice land, he will go and clone it, duplicate, and produce a document that is replica of the original without the knowledge of the owner. They go to development control and apply for building plan approval. The original owner is there. He doesn't know that somebody is fraudulently applying to get building plan approval on his land. At times you find somebody, a fraudster, will go and claim a certificate of occupancy of a land in which the owner has not yet collected. How do they have the information that plot number so has his certificate of occupancy uncollected in land registry? And then they use their connection, whatever they use, to collect the certificate of occupancy on behalf of the rightful owner. There are the people that knows. It means there must be connivance of the insider. There are people that are working honestly. Yes. There are people that are working dishonestly. That is how the system is today. We have the good and the bad in the system. And the bad paint the good ones black. Now, what I urge, advise the property developers and the off-takers themselves, all property owners, make sure that they always constantly visit and make sure that the records are intact, and always visit their land to make sure nobody is developing their lands. It doesn't stop. Also, at times, it doesn't even stop at the land registry. It goes off to Corporate Affairs Commission. Anybody that has interest in somebody's land that is very lucrative will go to Corporate Affairs Commission fraudulently and change the ownership of the directors of that company. It has happened. We caught so many of them like that. The fraud has spread to all other areas that their interests are there. They want to protect their interests, despite the fact they know that whatever there is wrong. And the most painful matter, the first issue about this matter is that you have people that save their money. They spend so many years. Some took loans. They are retirement dependent benefits. Yeah. They want to pay for this type of land, thinking that they are going to own their houses.
Real estate fraud is preventable when the right structures and awareness are in place. We'll take a short break now, and when we return, the MD and founder of Leisure Court will be joining me on the Raw Conversation. Stay with Housing Development.
I'm Debbie Erb. I work for OPIC in the United States, and keep watching the Affordable Housing Development Program.
Hello and welcome to the Real Conversation, your number one program for deep insight into the housing and construction industry across Africa. Today we are honored to have with us one of the most respected developers in Nigeria's real estate space, a visionary builder whose work has expanded home ownership, created communities, and raised the standard of housing delivery in Nigeria. Please join me in welcoming Builder Segun Abolaji, the MD and founder of Leisure Court Estate Limited. Builder Segun, it's a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, let's begin from the very beginning. You know, Leisure Court is now a well-known and trusted brand in real estate. What inspired you to establish Leisure Court?
Well, I can say what inspired me is because I'm a professional builder first before I became a developer.
All right.
So, and that's different between someone like me and so many other people who are there just for business.
So you know your onions.
Exactly. So it's my profession. So I'm being driven by passion, by professionalism. It's what I love to do. It's not all about, what I'm there to get. That's the difference.
All right, so you started at a time when the housing sector had so many uncertainties. So looking back, how would you describe the journey? You know, the early days, the challenges, and the growth?
Well, it's been about 11 years now, and I can tell you that...
More than a decade.
Yes, I can tell you that it's not been easy. We've had our ups and downs. We have had success stories, but these success stories is not without, issues,
Sure.
problems here and there that needs to be solved. But, the most important thing is the ability to confront these issues and tackle them head on. So it's been 11 years of, amazing experience. Ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, but in all, we survived it.
11 years of amazing experience, ups and downs, the challenges and all that. Okay, Leisure Court has delivered multiple estates across strategic locations. Could you highlight some of your major projects and what makes them stand out?
Like I said earlier, I'm being inspired because of my profession. One thing that makes Leisure Court stand out is that the professionalism. You see that professional touch in every of our estates. We don't do anything that is, less than the minimum standard. There are minimum standard of practice, in everywhere. If you're talking about a particular building, maybe a duplex, for example, the door schedule, the foundation, people can build houses. But sometimes I tell my clients, and those my clients know me, they will tell me that, look, we have a reason why we always come back. And that reason is because yours may be a little bit more expensive than, nearby estates, but we know why we always come back, because we know we'll get the best here. So the truth is, we make sure that everything is up to standard, and you have no regrets. Because, it's not all about building houses. Sometimes it's about the life cycle of that house, the maintenance of that house. You can build now, and in the next 1 month, you start maintenance issues, begin to set in. How long does it take before you start doing a major turnaround maintenance in a house? All these things count. And, talking about our major projects we've done, we've had landmark achievements in Abuja and in Lagos majorly. We have not less than 5 estates that are habitable. People already living in Abuja, and in Lagos we have 4, and we still have ongoing projects.
I mean, you don't give your clients substandard housing.
Not
You
at
give them
all.
good value for their money.
Exactly.
Okay, your brand is associated, with quality and consistency.
Yeah.
What drives that culture of excellence at Leisure Court?
You see, there's difference between just doing something because you want to make money and because you want to make it right. We've had issues of building collapse in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We've had issues of, there's this common notion that people have about Africa or Nigeria generally, or anything that is associated with black, that we lack maintenance culture. And before you begin to even talk about maintenance, how about the quality first? Quality first before maintenance. Maintenance come after, after maybe a certain period that building is expected, to give you a high yield, and then you don't need to do any maintenance. Maybe if you have to, maybe just few here and there, which is expected. So that's the difference.
All right, so you good quality. You've been consistent all these years in providing good quality housing for your subscribers. Thank you for being a part of The Real Conversation. You can watch the full episode of The Real Conversation on our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa. Keep following us for more updates on Africa Housing Awards and AIHS 2026. And of course, the Africa Women in Housing and Construction Conference and Business Expo 2026, which will hold in March next year. These are three flagship events that are shaping the future of housing and construction in Africa. Housing development continues right after the break. And now, excitement is building as we count down to Africa Housing Awards 2025. Africa's most respected honors in housing and construction. This year's edition will spotlight excellence across the continent, from developers to architects, policymakers, innovators, and industry change makers. We are just days away from unveiling the winners in each category who will take home the prestigious awards this year. The entire industry is watching.
Start by appreciating the organizers of the Africa Housing Awards, and particularly my very good friend Festus Adebayo for putting up together this remarkable initiative, recognizing the efforts of players in the sector and also encouraging them to do more is a great way to spur development in the sector and also achieve our collective objectives for the good of Nigerians.
To be recognized for what I would consider work in the course of doing my duties is really a wonderful thing. This is wonderful, and I am really grateful.
Really, really exciting. That's really hard.
AHA is inviting individuals, companies, state agencies, and industry partners to be part of this remarkable event. You can participate by sponsoring an award category, partnering with the organizers, or representing your brand at Africa's biggest housing recognition event. For participation or sponsorship, kindly contact the Africa Housing Awards team. Don't miss the celebration of excellence.
My name is Olajumoke Akimumi, and I'm the co-founder of Alifia Capital Limited. I was, first of all, pleasantly surprised, but also very thankful to have received this honor. I mean, in the midst of really very important and impactful people who have contributed in no small way to the efforts at developing our sector. On a personal note, I think the recognition for me supported the fact that being a purpose-driven leader is not about numbers, so it's not about how much you build, it is more about how many lives you transform through the process. And I think that that was one of the messages that was passed across in that season. So come December 12th in Abuja, the 2025 awards will happen. I'm excited about who the recipients will be for this year, and I'm particularly excited about who would be the affordable housing personality for 2025. It's a huge responsibility, and what I hope for the future is that we can, all recipients, come together and choose to do certain projects or certain initiatives that will advance the cause of housing in Nigeria. We have to remember that we're entering into a decade where housing must be delivered not just as shelter, but with dignity, with equity, and with climate resilience in mind.
That was Housing Development visit to Ido Sariki Pada, a reminder that housing is not just buildings, it's about dignity, safety, and opportunity. It has been a powerful episode from trending stories to Nigerian voices as we move closer to the Africa Housing Awards. We encourage all stakeholders to participate in this year's celebration of excellence. Thank you for watching Housing Development. I remain your housing diva. Bye for now.